blood, and guts review. It's Cinco de Mayo. You know that? What have I become now that I've betrayed everyone I ever loved and pushed them off the cage? Now I'm in my ass, laying in the cardboard grounds. This really looks underwhelming now to the stupid freaking crowd. Oh, why didn't they do better? I don't know, man. That was pretty weird. Anyway, we're going to talk about it. It's, I'm sure it's on everybody's mind right now, but take it away, Wardlow.
This is Wardlow from AEW, and you're watching The Joe Cronin Show.
A wrestling podcast with attitude.
All right, guys, what's up? Hope everybody's having a good night tonight. If we had one more commercial tonight, I was going to puncture my own veins. But I'm glad that we don't have those anymore. Okay, so that was a weird ending. I would have painted everything gray. So if you're going to make it, you know, seem like a guy just went through maybe like steel, I don't know. I'm not really sure what they're going for. But it was all right. I just don't... I mean, it's Jericho, dude. You want Jericho to take a crazy bump off a cage? I just would have done something with somebody else. Maybe Sammy Guevara could have been thrown off.
And Jericho could have, given up. It would have made sense. You know, Sammy take this.
Whoa.
That would have been awesome.
Hold on. Let me figure out what's going on. I think it's Discord. Hold on a minute. Let me see if it's the... Maybe if I turn that down a little bit. All right, talk now. Now you might not sound like a psycho.
Hey, now we'll see if it works.
Hey, it sounds better now, yeah.
A little better. There we go. But, yeah, Sammy could have taken a better bump, a big bump off the top, and Jericho could have been the one to give up because what they did onto the solid steel crash pad was not good. And the match started to break down once the match actually began, once the bell rang. That's when they started to have problems with some of the psychology. They went ahead and they had everybody crush, the Pinnacle rather single-handedly and pretty easily. And then it wasn't until MJF got the better hand of Jericho single-handedly, they won. But basically, the Inner Circle had that match dead to rights. So, I mean, it just... I get what they're going for here, but it wasn't a great ending. And sadly, that's all people remember is the ending. Even if they had the best match ever.
I can tell you, all I can say is to defend our bitterness, because I had fun. The match started, it was fun, and there was fun moments. There was people bleeding everywhere.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah, I liked it. But
they had some crazy spots, a lot of blood throughout, a lot of blood and guts. No, false advertisement there. But damn, that ending deflated pretty much any heat they had going into and out of this match.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I saw the chat just turn on it. They all of a sudden...
It looked so piss poor and so badly delivered that it became a farce. And it looked silly, and it looked ridiculous. MJF then looked like less of a psychopath and more of a fool. The way he was freaking out looked like he killed a man, but really we know that's not the case.
Why would the Inner Circle surrender when MJF threatened to throw Jericho off? Just for MJF to throw him off after the match was over. The Inner Circle looked like idiots for surrendering.
Well, actually,
of course, MJF was going to throw Jericho off. They should have known.
Well, I mean, okay, so maybe you got a point there, but I mean, I get it. I actually like what they did. In fact, I thought they were going to do this. I was like, oh, yeah, this is great because, like, oh, we surrender, you don't kill Jericho, but then guess what? He's going to do it anyway, and that's what a great heel thing to get heat on MJF. But then And I was all on board with it. And I was like, here it comes. He's going to throw him off anyway, which if I knew that, why didn't they know that? That's a good point. But it doesn't matter if you know that. Your instinct is still to try to surrender so to save your friend.
Yeah, but then they should have swarmed the top. Santana and Ortiz already started to scale to the top. They should have been up there already. There was enough time that passed. They should have been there. They stopped climbing. It just didn't make sense. So it made it look foolish on top of already being stupid because the stunt was stupid.
That's the problem, is then the stunt was bad. So it just didn't, I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't like...
And a 33-minute match had 15 minutes of picture-in-picture / adverts.
I couldn't believe the commercials. That was the craziest
commercial
thing.
Breaks were more than half of this program. And sadly, how they could not... I mean, this is why you don't do a War Games match on anything but pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, that became clear.
You can't interrupt a 35-minute match every 3 minutes.
And the worst thing is when they went to commercial, like they broke the top rope. They did all this stuff to the ring, and we came back and we felt like we missed
we didn't see it. We got to see the recap, and there's a bunch of like great moments. There was a few things tonight that really didn't make sense, like the ref taking away Cody's weight belt just for QT to hit him with his own belt, and that's allowed. You know,
well, it wasn't. He took his away too.
Yeah, but still,
then
he got
kicked
the strikes in, and it didn't end the match, and it wasn't a no disqualification match.
Then Arn Anderson assaulted the other guy, and they didn't kick him out either.
Exactly. So
I mean, they kicked him out, but they didn't end the match. They just kicked him out. Like, okay, get out of here.
Before we really get into, obviously, the blood and guts aspect of all of this, we had a pre-taped everything but blood and guts. So, and that was the thing. I really didn't care for anything going into the blood and guts match, but I really did enjoy the main event up until the ending. It was really good. They really over-delivered on this match. I just wish they had a better ending here.
Well, wait a minute.
I
They
would have rather the
over-delivered?
Pinnacle look strong.
You think they over-delivered now on the match? They over-delivered on the match?
Up until when they rang the bell and really they were like really riding a high for me. I was all about it. They were executing everything perfectly, and the story made sense. Things were going really well, and then suddenly it just fell apart. So sad to say it that way, but that really was what happened in my eyes, especially with MJF scaling to the top and how it ended with the conclusion. Just not great. Really not.
Unfortunately for them, we saw Mick Foley go through a Hell in a Cell, off a Hell in a Cell, even Shane McMahon jumping off it. So it was just like, it's not their fault, really. It's just that it's not, he would have had to go through, he would have had to land on like steel chairs or like thumbtacks and glass or through, I don't know what you could do. But it just didn't feel right. It didn't.
Well, it made
work
also
out.
there being a top to the cage feel pointless as well. Like that's supposed to contain them in there for blood and guts. Like that's the purpose of it. The War Games, cage doesn't have, so they have different rules where if you leave, you're disqualified. And basically, I was, I don't know, hoping for some type of different stunt with this, but.
Still love the
we
show,
just
though.
got something that felt very disappointing and lackluster.
Still
because
so entertaining, though.
The Abdullah the Butcher moment was pretty crazy. Everything Santana and Ortiz and Sammy did was top notch.
How about Sammy, man? He died, and he just like
he got
burned.
concussed right off the bat. I swear with that chair.
Oh, he's
shot.
concussed. No, okay. So I thought he was concussed, but I thought it was from that botch.
Oh, you think from the botch right off the beginning?
Or whatever. I don't know if it was the beginning. Was it the beginning?
It was pretty early on.
When he leaped, when he missed the second rope leap, and he fucking ate shit.
It was pretty early on in the match.
Oh my god, dude!
He got the first 5 minutes.
He absolutely got wrecked, dude. He was like, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe the chair shot. Well, he was already. Did he get hit in the head?
Yeah, he didn't get his hands up in time. He ate that chair.
I think it was either JR. It might have been Tony Schiavone, but somebody went like, "Oh my god!"
Because he ate all of that steel chair. He went down and he didn't move for quite a bit.
Oh my god!
Oh, he's concussed there.
Maybe he did get concussed from the chair, and that's why he couldn't jump off the ropes. The equilibrium wasn't right. That's a great point.
Because he was already busted open from the chair shot, and then it was not long after that I'm pretty sure that's when that spot happened. But yeah, still, just the whole thing was crazy.
Still better than Raw by
Hager
far,
looked
man.
like $1 million at first. He came in like a bat out of hell with taking out.
That was one of Hager's best moments.
Harwood.
That was one of his.
Awesome.
That's one of his best moments ever in wrestling. Like
the ankle lock as he's taking the crap out of Shawn Spears, and then he taps out, but it doesn't end the match because they're not all in there yet. Okay, so that's why I wish it was single elimination, or there was a better way to have this work through than just have one team say I quit.
Here's another good point about tonight in the ratings. It's going to be really interesting to see the ratings because
we have our predictions.
This is the reason why I say this is because what happens is probably when people are watching TV, I'm guessing that the amount of people that wake up during AEW who fell asleep hours before watching something else, or the amount of people flipping through the stations who stumble across what looks to be a cage and several men bleeding all over the place, and they stop and go, what the hell is this? So it's just like you feel like 50,000 people flipping through the channels stopped on this because you're like, what the hell is this about? What is this UFC?
Yeah, your prediction was 1.12. Mine was 1.48.
Damn.
I originally thought that this might bring them one of their biggest numbers, but
oh man, I'll tell you what, if it does 1.4, I'll blow your dick hole off. That'll be unbelievable.
I'm telling you, I'm still hoping it might, but I don't know. They had a lot of press and advertisement going into this on things you don't normally see them advertise on, so they were trying like hell, that's for sure.
I didn't realize my Skype was on. Let me just mute that for a minute. We can take calls a little bit later. Let me go back to the donos real quick. Got a couple of them, and we'll go back and we'll donate a couple other ones. This was fun, though, man. This was fun tonight.
It was an entertaining night. It didn't make a ton of sense. A lot of the ways they handle some of the booking, but it was still enjoyable. I mean, that's the thing. It's not making you smash your head against the wall like Raw does. So.
By the way, did the Rangers? Anybody watch the hockey game? Did the Rangers get Tom Wilson? What happened tonight?
Did they break his ankles or
somebody
what?
Find out if they broke. By the way, what Tom Wilson did is like nothing compared to like stuff that's been done. Like I saw Matt Cook come out and be like, "Oh my God, it's terrible." What are you talking about? We've done way worse things than what he did the other night. It doesn't make any sense. But I want to know if it happened. Anyway, here's a donation.
Yeah. Gritty. Yo, this whole city, we're gritty. Yo, we might eat our own shitty. Yeah. Eat our own shitty. In the city of Philly, we eat shitty. We're gritty as can be. We can survive off our motherfucking own feces. In Philly, we're gritty. In Philly, we're gritty. In Soul City, we'll eat our own shitty. In Philly, that's why our mascot looks like a...
Look, tonight was good, but let's not act like this was the greatest show ever.
Exactly.
The whole show until the main event was a 6. The main event was great minus the 40 commercials. 8/10 match.
Wow.
7. 5/10 tonight overall. There has been way better Dynamites than...
There actually has been better Dynamites than tonight, no doubt about it, Pussy Lips McGee. But the good thing is this was better than Raw. I think tonight was about a 6.8 out of 10. I think that's what tonight was. So I'll give it a 7. I'll round it up to a 7. I'll just come right out and throw my cards down. Pussy Lips McGee, first I want to say thank you, Pussy Lips. I also want to ask you guys to re-up. Make sure you check your Patreon stuff, because Patreon's going to have a bunch of stuff this week and all new formats and stuff and big announcements, whatever else going on. Also, Jake is here, man. We didn't even acknowledge the fact that really you're a game time decision, and here you are. Pretty happy to have Jake there.
Yeah, glad I'm here, baby.
Yeah,
we're able to keep it rolling.
Did you lose another 15 pounds? I mean, are you like losing more weight? You look way skinnier now.
Yeah, I'm down to 280. So.
Jesus, you're gonna be my weight soon. What the hell's going on?
That's the thing. I mean, now if once they cut off all this, I'm just constantly vomiting. So
yeah,
it's getting to the point like, all right, cool. I'm not over 600 pounds anymore, and I lost a ton of weight. But if you don't fix me soon, I'm gonna be 80 pounds.
Yeah, you're gonna have have esophagus problems. So let's get rid of that.
No, I already do, but again, even though they already repaired it once, so it's just the point now where I guarantee if they cut off all the excess skin, that would take away about 55 pounds. So
Jesus,
that would leave me at about 225, 230. I bet.
Well,
right now
I'm 218, so don't get too close here. Let's make
that's the thing.
Let's make me look a little bit all right. I mean,
what are we doing? We'll give it a little bit more time, but it won't be too long.
I've got to get to 180 now. What the hell's going on?
We'll get you down next.
I'm balding extremely now too, by the way, because I started balding about going bald a little bit 3 years ago, really, and now I don't know what happened in the last 3 months, but it is extremely bad now. Like, it's very bad. Like, my head looks hilarious.
My hair thinned out a great deal too, and that's from the lack of nutrition. So there's not much I can do about that. But
that's exactly what my head looks like right there. Wait a minute, go look down again. You look just like me. Mine's worse. Mine's worse.
More because of the way it's here, but I had gel in it. So, but yeah,
mine's worse.
You go ahead and thicken it out.
That's crazy. Mine's worse than yours is, bro. I feel like shit. But it's okay because I'm already married. Luckily, I already got the girl. Like, if I was single, I'd be like, oh my God, no. All right, anyway, let's start from the beginning of AEW. Why don't we? Why don't we start right from the beginning? What do you think?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to start at. And,
I figured.
Derek's comment applies to this. We'll see it in a few minutes with the donations. But the one thing I do like Nakazawa being the young boy for
Nakazawa.
Omega. Same thing with Brandon Cutler. Like, I didn't mention it when we talked about Dynamite last time, but when he was applying the cold spray and the ice to the Young Bucks after they won the tag match, and they acted like their 8-minute match was a 60-minute 5-star classic, that was funny. I like that. That was actually an enjoyable rib that got to me. So, but tonight Nakazawa at least got to bring out the Impact and TNA titles with him and the AAA title. Kenny, if he's not going to hold them all himself, at least he is going ahead and having the belts go forward.
Hey, he finally did it. He did do it tonight. Finally, they put over all the belts. Finally, it was that moment where we went, oh, there it is. They're doing it. Okay.
Yeah, so knock it the fuck out, as the wise one says. Ends up being in the match, and at first you thought Kenny wasn't there. Surprise, he's there, and he blindsides both guys with the title, the AEW championship. All right, and then we get to the usual common shtick of what you see with Moxley and Eddie. It wasn't bad, but nothing stellar here. It was okay, but they I like the part where you had Eddie trading chops with Omega, and then, Kenny hits him with an enziguri, and the way that he sold it, it looked like he forgot grade school. It was great. Eddie. Loved that. He just stumbled around and then fell, and it looked like a really good head hit, and you don't get to see that all the time.
Can we?
So Omega tags out, and then he's gone. That was it. And it's like Nakazawa gets left behind, and
we really
gets
didn't
destroyed, and that was it.
We kind of skipped the intro, but I mean I thought it was pretty good him jumping them, because I mean,
I said he attacked him with the belts,
but I mean, the commentators kind of didn't. I thought maybe they'd do a better job of because they were like, oh, we saw him back there, we knew he was here, but I wish there was a heel announcer almost to be like, what a brilliant idea. You guys are, oh, he's been in the back. Oh, he's in the back. It's obviously he's in the back, but nobody saw this coming. That's how smart he is. It's great. I love.
Well, that's why it's nice when Callis or Taz is on commentary.
Yeah, exactly. I wish Don Callis was on commentary because he could have.
And
he
should have, because he was funny in the beginning.
Yeah.
Cutting off the ring announcer there, Roberts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that.
Enough.
That was entertaining. I like the way he did that. And he goes and he's like, Kenny can't make it tonight, but we're going to give the fans what they want. So here's, knock it the fuck off. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. And the match was just a bit of a disappointment, especially with, most of it being just, all right, let's beat up on Nakazawa and Omega is going to run away. That's pretty much how it felt. And it all comes down to, we have to have, heat afterwards. And I think that's what I'm really tired with AEW. You get the clean finishes, but you can't get, avoiding the heat afterwards, the beatdowns, the attacks, the constant. Did they really need to just attack Moxley and Eddie again here? It just felt like a
You mean
a
before
real,
the match or?
After the match, yeah.
Oh, after the match.
It just felt like overkill that wasn't necessary. It feels like a waste at this point.
I think
it's not really adding to the story for me.
I don't even know why they. I don't know. They felt like they had to have a match. I guess because it was blood and guts. I guess the thing is because Nakazawa, he loses. So Eddie and Moxley. It's one of those things where you get two things done at once, right? Eddie and John get a victory over the bad guys, but not really. They beat the jabroni guy, but. At the same time, then Kenny gets his heat by then beating them up after the match. So, I didn't have a problem with that to me, but yeah, it's
just
getting to be overdone a little bit.
Like Sandman says, it's the post-match spots. Every match, it feels like, has to have that heat afterwards, that afterbirth, and it's constant, and it's incessant.
Yeah, there's
Granted,
always
we
something.
don't get the DQ finishes like we get on Raw or the same stuff over and over, but here it's like guaranteed after a match you're gonna get some type of attack or beat down or backroom assault like that. It has to happen. They can't avoid it.
Well,
So I wish it was something they could get away from, but I mean, here's my example. Next match, after the match, Anthony Ogogo, the boxer, walks out, gets the liver punch on Cody, lays the Union Jack on top of him, and I like it. I don't dislike this part because they're building Anthony, but I thought QT was the star. I thought QT was the leader. This should have been where Anthony got beat, and QT came out and laid out Cody. I mean, really, that's how it should have been, but they ruined this feud like we said they would. You know, Cody comes out, he talks, he gets interrupted, he gets challenged, he gets beat down. Eventually, he recovers from the injury, and he gets his one-match victory, and that's it. And that's all Cody does over and over again.
They just set up another match now with a different guy. That's what
exactly. So now Cody will be injured likely, or he'll be out for another week or two with the gut punch to sell that. He'll come back, they'll tussle, they'll set up a match, Cody will win, and then he'll disappear for a couple more weeks. Like it's kind of just what they do with Cody at this point. It's predictable. A lot of this is predictable.
They
it's
really
not bad, but
they got to get his old music back too. I don't know why he's still coming out the Snoop remix. It sounds terrible. But the match was all right. QT and him. The only thing I didn't understand.
The match was enjoyable. You knew the outcome. I mean, it was very predictable.
Well, the problem is, first of all, QT kind of reminds me of The Rock sometimes. I said this in the chat during the match. I said, he's kind of moves a little bit like The Rock sometimes, which I think is not a bad thing. But also, QT, I mean, while I liked the match a lot, or not a lot, but I thought it was a really good TV match. Like, it was a very good TV match. If it was a pay-per-view match, it should have been another 5 minutes longer. But here's the thing that I have a problem with. I don't know if I have a problem with this, but I wonder about this. I mean, is QT like he kicked out of a tombstone and then the crossroads?
Well, that was one of the things that I was going to get into. Like they really made him feel super powered tonight, because at first Cody gets hit with the crossroads and we're like, oh wow, this is something, and this is after the fact of you got the DDT, but Cody couldn't make the cover, so you're like, oh, he gets the standing the big moonsault on QT, he gets the near fall there, so already he's got the DDT and then the moonsault, and then after that it turns into where Cody gets the crossroads delivered to him after he tries to go for the cutter, and then QT lines up for the diamond cutter. And that's one of the things I do like about QT, how he takes like the best move set of all the different people that you know what I mean, that they've worked with. He's
really
like
been taught
a creator wrestler, an amalgamation of the best of all these different wrestlers. He has the move set of everyone and takes a little bit of everything. I like that.
Well, he's been taught it too. Like, so that's the thing. It's like, wow, he's taken all these moves from all these teachers or people that he's worked with. So it makes sense. Like that's the thing. That's the thing you like about it, is that because if he was just a guy taking everybody's moves, it would be weird. But
but he's been taught these things. Exactly. So under the tutelage, it's been taught to him. So he's acquired this moveset, and he's a bit of everything that's like the best of all these stars. So then all of a sudden, he gets this crazy power bomb reversal into a buckle bomb. Like it was really done quite well. You thought, oh no, he's not going to get it. It's going to be another reversal, and then no, he lands it. It's the buckle bomb, and then he goes for the tombstone, and they reverse it, and they reverse it, and they reverse it, and then I think on the fourth reversal, Cody gets the tombstone, and he's just bleeding, 2 count. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's it. Then he gets the crossroads after the tombstone pile driver, and he still kicks out, and he's got to beat him with the figure 4 leg lock, just like he did on top of the bus.
Yeah, and I
don't know why Cody is obsessed with the figure 4 at this point, but I wish the crossroads would have been enough to finish QT.
Yeah, listen, if QT is going to go on to be some megastar heel or guy or whatever, then I guess this made sense. But if not, oh my God, but then there's the other argument. Like, if you play devil's advocate, it's like, okay, but those were some of the things that made the match exciting because nobody thought it would continue after those things. So that's what kind of amped up the volume of the match. So I get that, but it's like, dude, again, QT Marshall, Jesus Christ, this guy just... And he still lost, but he he kicked out of these mega moves in these things that like almost nobody should be kicking out of. The guy's finisher, not only a Tombstone pile driver, which is something that is a finisher in of itself, unless you're facing.
Well, here's the thing too. Like you don't ever see anyone on television do a Tombstone pile driver. You always see super kicks, DDTs, but I feel like that one that's been really well protected is the Tombstone pile driver.
Yeah, it's and part of it is the Undertaker. It's that's in people's heads. Like seriously, they're like, dude, if I do a Tombstone pile driver, man, that's like the Undertaker. I mean, we're not gonna do that. I'm not doing that. Like that's literally one of the biggest reasons. It's also dangerous.
That's why most people don't ever do stunners either. Like Kevin Owens got permission. Remember that was a big thing the one stunner that Cena did, where it was like the diving springboard stunner that he did at Mania and whatnot.
Right.
And Austin was pissed about that.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't using it as a finisher. So
yeah, and he does it off the ropes too. It's like a super stunner.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't enough to take anybody out.
There's a part of me though that I don't get mad about that, and one of the reasons why I don't get mad about that is because in my head I kind of logitize it. That's not a word, but I just made up a word. I use the logic of like, well, listen, this guy, no matter what you do, he doesn't know how to do the stunner like Stone Cold does. Nobody knows how to do the stunner like Stone Cold knows how to do it. That's why he does it, because he's the best at it. It's like saying, oh, this pitcher this pitcher's trying to throw a fastball like Randy Johnson. It's like, well, you can't because you're not like Randy Johnson. Or this guy's trying to throw a cutter like Mariano Rivera. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can throw a good cutter and you can try to throw it, but it gets hit out of the park a whole bunch. Even if you throw it at 94 miles an hour or 89 miles an hour or whatever, there's something about the way Mario Rivera would throw this, and I don't know why I'm praising a Yankee as a Red Sox fan, but you know what I mean. There's something about the way Tim Wakefield throws the knuckleball. It's the same thing. So in my opinion, I don't have a problem justifying that. Oh, I know why this guy doesn't win on those moves. I know why Cody didn't win with the Tombstone tonight, because he doesn't do it like the Undertaker does. He doesn't know how to do it that way, or whoever.
But following up with his finisher, the Crossroads, that should have been
exactly. That's the point, though. Now he hits his finisher that he does know how to do to follow that up, and he still doesn't nail it. And it's like, wow,
after
dude.
4 reversals of the Tombstone, that's the thing too. Like the energy was depleted. You shouldn't be able to kick out after such athletic maneuvers, and then that's what makes it less than believable at times. But the attack afterwards here, I liked. It worked to a certain extent. It worked for Anthony, but it made QT look like a total nightmare bitch. Really, it buried him even more. We already felt like QT never had a chance to win unless there was some outside interference, and now it made Anthony look more like the star, which I said they've been trying to do for weeks anyways. Then we see Paige and Sky here. They go and they surprise attack Darby Allin. And this is to set up a promo later on from Miro, which was the best Miro promo we've had to date. It was a mess. It was all over the place.
It was.
But I loved it. I loved it from start to finish. He mumbled through half of it, and it was stellar. I could not be more excited for this kind of Miro. I don't care if you don't show up to the match or not. No matter what, I win. And
oh my God, dude. I can't.
He was so excited and animated. This was the Miro, Rusev, whatever you want to call it, that we haven't seen and gotten in quite some time. And he's like, if he doesn't show up, because he doesn't need handouts, but, no matter what, if you don't mind dying, you're going to meet the man that doesn't mind killing you. And just, it was great. It was great.
It's the accent, man, because he sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's why it's funny.
That's what makes it even better. So it's so
Did you just donate to Joe? Thank you for the
my
donation.
God. Spirit
And
Infinity
because
Roy.
You donated, I'm going to feast myself in the bunghole.
What up, Spirit? Oh, he didn't say anything. He just donated $17. Yo, Spirit Infinity Roy, man, thank you so much for dropping $17 fucking dollars,
yeah,
bro.
Bud. And this also explains the Darby Allin attack now. Now they softened him up so that next week Miro can take the title and Darby gets a loss, but he's protected as well because of the attack. And then Darby gets to take a little bit of time off, recover from some minor injuries, and then he'll come back for the TNT title.
I'm laughing at also Darby going down the stairs, man.
He took that like a champ. You know, he's a
psycho.
Stunned. Well, he is a psychopath, but he's a connoisseur of pain, no doubt. But
don't ever use
when
that word
goes
again.
Ahead
Don't ever
he
use
does
that
certain
word.
Stunts.
Don't ever
He's
say
not
that
a
word on my
professional
show
stunt
again.
man.
Don't say that word on my show again. Ever.
What?
Just don't ever say that word.
Which one?
You know. Don't say it.
I don't.
Don't ever say it
Pain?
again. No. Don't ever say it.
Connoisseur?
Yeah, don't say that word ever again.
Why is that off limits?
Just never say that.
All right. Well, he's a collector of
Or I'm
pain.
going to kill Drew.
But Darby Allin went ahead and he's not a stunt man at all, but he certainly sold it well because he knows how to take falls well. And it was funny to watch him tumble down the stairs. And Christ, the announce team actually sold this quite well. I thought they did. And Sky having those like spiked boots grinding against Darby's face, that looked painful as well. So, and knowing that those stairs are concrete, hell, that was
worse than
fall.
Jericho's fall. To be, falling
Jericho
down those
got,
concrete stairs.
Got to slumber on a padded mattress.
Spirit, thanks for the $17, man. I appreciate it. Leah just came down here and she's wet, so I was just talking to her real quick. Leah, what's going on? Tell me that's happening. You don't like the new shampoo you bought? Yeah. Should you get a different one, or what's the shampoo you bought so I can tell everybody not to get it?
The name brand is Hask.
Hask? Yeah, never buy anything called Hask. I mean, that sounds terrible already.
It good for curly hair.
It's good for curly hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like the way it makes my hair feel.
All right. She doesn't like the way it makes her hair feel. You want to see
I use
Jericho
this
fall
stuff
off a
called
cage?
Puss So Wet, and it works wonders. So.
What'd you say it was called? Puss So Wet?
Yeah. It works wonders.
use
Keeps
that?
everything very, very moisturized. Makes
You use
everything
that-
conditioned and soft.
Wait, what does it do to your privates, though?
Oh, it keeps it nice and soft.
I'm just worried that it makes your dick wet. That's weird.
No. It just keeps it extra moisturized.
Okay.
It smells good, but like.
Well, all right. Smells good. You want to see Jericho fall off a cage and land in cardboard metal?
Look like an idiot.
I've seen that like 10 times already.
No, have you?
I've seen him fall off shit.
You've seen him fall off stuff?
But not onto a padded mattress.
But not on a padded mattress.
That's supposed to look like solid steel.
I mean, that's probably why he landed on this thing, because he's too old for it.
Why is he doing that? Doesn't
I don't know. They should have thrown Sammy. I mean, Sammy almost died 70 times tonight anyway.
But I mean, like, doesn't he have his band?
Sammy's died on Dynamite more
He's on
often
what-
than
he-
not. And then they have a shaman warrior resurrect him backstage. So he's like a cat. He's got way too many lives.
Well,
but
he's on
they keep
TV
bringing him
every
back
week.
over and over.
Leah's saying, why doesn't he just go back to game shows in his band? But I was like, but he's on every Wednesday. They've been selling this pay-per-view forever. He almost cried tonight while they were singing his entrance theme. Did you notice that? He almost lost it.
I did. He was because they had extra fans there tonight.
Yep,
it
they had more
sounded and
fans.
seemed like.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
now that Double or Nothing is going to be full capacity, that's crazy.
Full capacity at Double or Nothing. Is that 13,000 people or?
I'll find out the exact numbers tomorrow night and out of nowhere. But
Let's go,
I'm
Florida.
excited to hear that they are going to go ahead and have full capacity once again.
the women in the like hospitals are like, oh no.
Then they had Julia Hart versus Britt Baker. This was a disappointment. It was just to put Britt Baker over, but you haven't really showcased much of her. And then you have someone who's never been on Dynamite or any of the other shows. This was her debut. And it's just a squash match. I get that, but I feel like Britt doesn't need to be in squash match mode. She should be putting on, 8 to 10 minute showcases at this point of why she's such an excellent wrestler. But I know they did that not long ago with the Lights Out match, but do something non-hardcore in the ring. This still serves the same effect, but I feel like we should be getting more from the women. Week in, week out, we get something very, very minute. One match, couple of minutes. They feel like an afterthought. That's not how it should be. As for last night, NXT had a street fight for the Women's Tag Team Championship between, obviously, Ember and Shotzi defending their titles against The Way, and it was awesome. So incredibly badass. I saw it earlier today. And wow, what a tag match. Shotzi Blackheart has no regard for her own safety. She just flies at will and bless her for that much, but it
Bless
was
her
crazy, and I thought the tag match was stellar. So if you didn't see it, check it out, please. But NXT was really good last night. So Britt gets a really quick 1.5-minute victory, and it meant nothing for the women's division, even though she'll go on to take on Sheeta at the next, event. It just doesn't feel like it matters, really. Sheeta said she just wanted to defend the title in front of a lot of fans. Double or Nothing is going to be full capacity, so that's when she'll lose the belt. They just wanted to wait for her to do it in front of a big audience.
That's got to be what this is. I mean, this was just to get Britt Baker on TV, which is so I'm okay with it. Not a problem. I think it's a good thing. But yeah, they're going to get
tonight. I know it was limited time because of the blood and guts match. But week in and week out, the women receive barely any TV time.
Yeah, that's true. Other than the Thunder Rosa main event thing with her, or whatever. I mean, it's been all nothing since that.
Yeah, and I thought they didn't announce where they were having Double or Nothing yet. I thought that's what they were waiting on, because they originally said they were going to do in Daly's place, but then I thought they were waiting. So I'll have to double check.
I don't know.
I'm not positive. Someone in the chat might know. Yeah, because Pico said that Daly's is 5,500 for Max. That sounds about right for there, but I don't know where Double or Nothing is at Treads. I want to confirm that. I don't know if they announced officially, because originally it was supposed to be in Daly's place. Then they wanted to do it elsewhere. They were talking about going back to Vegas, but then that wasn't going to be able to work. And they had a few other spots in mind, but nothing was coming to fruition. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they don't know, or they didn't know. They might know now, but they're not telling us yet. That's what it seems like. I mean, I'm guessing that they know now, but they're not announcing it until...
Because right now it says on Wikipedia, location, Daly's Place, and MGM Grand Arena.
So you think it's going to be 2 locations, or you think maybe...
Because that's, obviously, MGM, the Grand Garden Arena holds 16,800 in Vegas. Daly's Place, obviously, as we said before, is 5,500. So big discrepancy in where it will feature, but... it says AEW Double or Nothing to run with full capacity. Weekend plans revealed, and I believe it's going to be back in Vegas. So,
so we're going to Vegas.
No,
we're going back to Vegas.
But this here says Tony Khan saying on Busted Open Radio that it's Daly's Place. I'm reading both. This is weird, but I'm hearing Daly's Place 100% capacity, so 5,500 people, since it's an outdoor amphitheater, and they're going to do a fan fest on Saturday night, and Friday night will be a house show, non-televised event, and Sunday will be the pay-per-view. So that's Sunday, March 30th. I guess it's all at Daly's Place, but
all at Daly's Place.
Tony said Daly's Place before, but other articles I just read said Vegas as well, and so does their Wikipedia. So that's interesting, but I believe it's Daly's.
Yeah, it sounds like it's Daly's from everything I'm seeing and hearing and people, whatever. It's probably Daly's, same thing. So here we're back here again. Looks like they're not going to get...
Still, though, if they go and have the entire audience filled up, that's awesome.
Yeah, just that is kind of a change in atmosphere in a way. So it's going to be... That'll be exciting, kind of like how WrestleMania had that extra oomph to it. Although this will be even different because they won't be saying, oh, we're socially distanced too. They won't be. They'll be filled. So that's interesting. I mean, they'll be...
DJ Rand wants to know, what do you think is worse, the ending of tonight's Blood and Guts match or the barbed wire death match?
The barbed wire match.
I agree. I think the barbed wire was even more of a disappointment because they built that up for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and that was a pay-per-view that people paid for. At least this was free TV. And this didn't really under-deliver in the sense, or break any promises. That said that was going to happen. That was supposed to explode. The ring was going to go kablooey, kaboom. Like, that was a promise from Kenny Omega's mouth. And tonight there was no promise of like, oh, someone will go off the cage or someone will, they just said it's going to be an extreme match. And you can't argue. People beat the hell out of each other. They went through, they broke up the ring and destroyed themselves. And that double Spanish fly when they flew off the ropes, that was a great spot. We'll get into that when we get to the match.
The bleeding,
you can't say it wasn't hardcore. So I would absolutely say the barbed wire bullshit was the bigger bullshit.
Absolutely. It's not even... Yeah, it's not... I mean, it's not... I don't even think it's close. I mean, this was a pretty good... This was a match that gave you more than you normally get on TV. That was a match that gave you less than what you should have got on pay-per-view. I mean, it's such a...
This was like, that wasn't great. Like, that really could have been better, but it still wasn't awful. That night, we were astonished because the match wasn't even great.
We were raging. I mean, I was raging that night. I mean, I love AEW to death. I love them, but I was raging on them. I'm not raging on this. I'm kind of like...
No one's chanting refund tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah. Like this, hey, listen, it was a little weird. Didn't look the best. Kind of underwhelming end. Oh, well. Like, the match was pretty good, though, before that. And so, I'm still giving tonight about a 7. Like I said, 6.8.
I was at a 6.5 myself. I wanted to kind of go through and, pick my brain a bit more because, like I said, it was weird for them to build up QT and then have him get beat here pretty handedly, even though Cody was bleeding. It didn't really look like Cody messed himself up.
Here's my question. Like, Tombstone, he doesn't get beat. Crossroads, he doesn't get beat. Why didn't the guy who punches people out come out during the match and from the outside have Cody come down and be like, dude, get out of here. What are you doing? Arn Anderson's gone. Cody's like, get out of here, man. Get out of here. The referee's down or something like that is going on. And the guy punches Cody Rhodes in the stomach during the match. Referee doesn't see it. And then Cody's like, I'm fucked up. Then QT takes him out and gets the win. So QT looks strong for kicking out of those big moves before anyway. But he
already
wins.
Kicked out of the Crossroads and that could be the selling point. But since he lost, what was the point of him kicking out of both of those? Like,
right. Like, why did you make him look like him up? Why did you make him look like
to have the afterbirth?
Why did you make him look like an amazing legend? Like, who kicks out of the fucking Crossroads, the Tombstone, and all these things, all for him to just fucking lose, like straight up lose, like after all
major
these
DDT. Like, had they take your idea, but when they were doing the Tombstone, the reversals, so they flip, then flip forward, then flip back. On the last one back to get Cody to deliver the Tombstone, that's when they hit the ref. QT's feet goes into the ref's head.
You're right.
That's it. Accidental ref bump, and that's when Anthony comes out after, you know what I mean? You could do it there, but if you want him to kick out of this big stuff, okay, you can do it after that fact where he kicks out of both of the big moves, and then, you can go ahead and have your ref bump set up, if you really, but why have him kick out at all if you're going to have him get beat, and then after the match, set up somebody else on the team? So it just feels like, oh, I beat you, so now I got to beat the next guy.
And the only answer to that, by the way, is to make the match better, seem better. That's really all. To have a good match.
Anthony be the match to get to QT. Then, like, you'd want to build up to get to the main guy. They stole Cody's bus, and everything gets resolved the same night. That's the problem. Most often, like, things don't brew.
Yeah,
in the beginning of the show, I steal your bus, and then that same
Terrible
show they get it
ending.
back.
Why did Jericho need a bump? He's such an attention fiend. Hope that cardboard felt good on his back. NXT does War Games better.
I mean, Zest, you're not that. I mean, it's a little right. I mean, at least paint the cardboard gray on all sides if you're gonna break it. Zest, good call, Zest. And
if you're gonna make it try and look like solid steel, then do it that way all the way through. Or if you're gonna have the crash pad, put it way on the bottom beneath your housing or casing of the fake stage. This was literally just the cardboard and then the inflatable crash pad.
Shit, Bob! Thank you, Zest.
But War Games is great on NXT. No doubt. I was hoping this was better.
That ending was a Botchamania highlight. Pretty much hurt the main event.
Oof,
they had a good chance to make this work, but all anybody will talk about is the ending, like the barbed wire botch fist at Revolution. 6/10.
That's
Thank
right,
you, Soundwave.
Like I said, people always come back to the ending. That's what it comes down to. So
yeah, they're not going to get over that, how that ended. I mean, unfortunately.
No, and I mean, we had a really pretty good tag match too, but you knew SCU had to win. They aren't going to have them break up because of a 4-way tag match. That's how they end their careers as a tag team. Is they go ahead and they lose in a fatal 4-way. Like, no, that wasn't going to happen. So you knew SCU was going to win here, and it was predictable. But I love the best move ever. That's always fun to see from those two, and it's another Tombstone anyways. But I like the way they deliver the move, and they hit it, unfortunately, on Pillman Jr. I still hope we see better things for him and, his varsity blonde partner there, but Garrison too. It wasn't a bad match by any means. It was entertaining, a bit chaotic, but you just very predictable. You knew SCU was gonna win.
SCU.
So. Then we got a great promo from Kenny Omega that involved Orange Cassidy. We found out that Pac and Orange Cassidy have to face off next week, and whoever wins gets to challenge Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing. I got Jericho on the brain, and that's when Omega came out and cut this great promo. Nakazawa still carrying all 3 other titles. Funny stuff still. And he's, saying that no one, he's certainly not looking forward to Blood and Guts. Hurry up, make the announcement. You're wasting my time. And then he berates and cuts into Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy comes out, and it was a pretty damn good promo for the rest of it. So I like them going back and forth. They took the Ray-Bans from Orange Cassidy, saying you wasted my time, so I'm going to take your $1,000 glasses. They look better on Nakamura anyways. And when you grow up to be an adult, that's when I'll see you.
Nakazawa.
I always do that.
That was great.
All the same in this book. They're all jobbers.
Oh my God, Jake! What the hell's wrong with you?
They're just all jobbers. So I wasn't crazy about the set before this, but I'm glad that Kenny went ahead and laid into Orange Cassidy, and the way that they set it up with Nakazawa was funny at the end. They saved it. It worked well. Now who do we want to see, Pac or Orange Cassidy?
I'll take Orange Cassidy.
I think Orange Cassidy would be the more interesting of the 2 matches because we haven't seen that happen.
Pac is awesome.
Pac is the more believable option. But
Pac is the believable option. I just don't like him. I
think Orange would make for the
and I don't
better
like
match.
I normally don't like Orange too. Like I've been crapping on him forever, but you're right. It's just like Pac is so uninteresting to me. So good in the ring, amazing in the ring actually. But it's like the 2 of them, I just feel like we're just gonna see this fucking circus match with Pac and Kenny Omega.
Probably. That's the worry I have as well. I hope it doesn't come down to that. I hope that we could see kind of what we got from either I think it was the first Jericho match in Orange or something more akin to the Cassidy and Pac match that we got that was really good too. Like if we get something like that, the thing is it's just Kenny's not going to lose no matter what. No matter who wins, Pac or Orange, neither man stands a chance against Kenny Omega. And that's a problem that WWE has that I have to be fair and give equal criticism about, is that there's not any built, equal contenders at this point in time. And now they also have to build up somebody on Impact side of things for I think it's Under Siege is their next pay-per-view. To go ahead and take on Kenny Omega there. So now Kenny's got to be under siege there.
Under Siege
2, the better of the 2. But
Under Siege cock.
Hey, Steven Seagal would take great offense to that.
I love those
Don't mind
movies.
if I do.
What's my name?
Duncachino.
It's a whole new game.
Duncachino.
You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend.
Say hello to my chocolate blend.
Seen better fight 6 of them Caps versus Rangers because Tom Wilson. What happened last night to the Rangers player change my say Michael Sachs Jr. I hate you.
I'm not exactly sure what you just said. You're making me hate you. I'm not sure what he just said. Seen better fight 6 of them Caps versus Rangers because Tom Wilson. What happened? I want to know if there was fights tonight in the Rangers game with the Caps. I want to go watch it. So someone tell me. It sounds like there wasn't because there would have been more buzz, I feel like, going on. But then again, I was completely busy watching these 2 schlubs look for beer at AEW. Look at them both coming down the ring looking for beer. I mean, Eddie Kingston, John Moxley just looking like,
2 drunk uncles.
2 drunk idiots looking like, what the fuck? What's going on here, man? They're coming down the aisle.
Bullfrog and his brother niece hunting.
Oh, God. Did you see his brother's picture the other day on the show?
I did. He does not look like Triple H. He looks more like Eric Rowan.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it is Bullfrog thinks his brother looks like Triple H compared to what he looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and he sees himself in a mirror next to Hunter and his brother, and he's like, oh, yeah.
He's such a slob.
That's a real man.
Like, he looks like uglier Vader, so his brother to him looks like Triple H. I get it.
Did you just donate to Joe?
Donate
to Joe?
Locomotive?
Thank you for the donation.
Locomotive?
And because you donated,
the hell?
I'm going to feast myself
Locomotive?
in the bunghole.
Hip Hop? Hip Hop Anonymous? He said, okay, things I love were before the main event. Darby getting thrown down the stairs, Miro calling him out, the man who doesn't fear death versus the man who doesn't mind killing him. That was
definitely
good.
a great Miro promo.
Miro was great. It was so funny. Like, I love how funny. The fucking guy's a wacko.
Hip Hop Anonymous? You always give him the easy ones.
He's hilarious. Oh my god.
Go to commercial as Jericho starts climbing the cage. Come back from commercial and he still hadn't finished climbing. Baker and Thunder Rosa match was far better. Kinda bothered last 5 minutes of the match, only Jericho, MJF and ignoring everything in the ring.
Yeah, pretty funny. Last 5 minutes of the match, only Jericho, MJF ignored. Yeah, I mean, and the other thing, Deftones, is you're right. I mean, Jericho is probably like, I'm not sure I can get onto the roof of the cage. And I'm also not sure I can live with, me struggling to climb a cage on TV. So can we please cut to a commercial during that?
Or did they make him wait that whole time, being like, hold, okay, climb, knowing that there was a commercial?
Maybe he...
I don't know if he was, because it didn't look like he was struggling to climb up there. It looked like he had to, wait. Didn't look like he was out of breath when he got to the top either.
Maybe he got off the cage and came back down again, and then climbed again. I mean,
that was one of my complaints that was going to be later on. Was a criticism I had was they ignored everything at the ending there. I mean that's a perfect donation because that's the truth. They ignored everything.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much where we are right now, is getting into the blood and guts match. So. We talked about Miro being awesome. It explains why they had Darby Allin get injured. Miro, I guarantee, will win the TNT title next week and go on a run with it until Darby comes back. Seems like that's the plan going forward. So the Pinnacle comes out, and Sammy Guevara is going to start.
You become...
Soundwave's dropping another 20.
Commercial breaks really derail the flow of the main event. You can't have 3 commercials for one match. Shame too, because before the ending they had a lot of great wrestling, especially Sammy. He sold his ass off tonight.
Yeah, I really thought the first half of this match was the best part of it. It's sort of just kind of...
It definitely was. It was a tale of two matches. Once the match actually started, when the bell rang, when all the participants were in, it became a different story. Michael Sachs Jr. said he's on hold. He watched the game if you wanted a quick recap.
Oh yeah, okay. Let me get through a little more AEW, Michael, but hang on there because I do want to know.
So Sammy and Dax Harwood start the match. Guevara just goes right into it, full force. We get this huge back body drop and drop kicks, and then Harwood hits him with a huge spine buster. Anderson would have been proud, and then he goes for a pin here, and just out of habit, even commentary and his teammates kind of chimed in as well, being like, it's submit or surrender. So I don't know really what the difference is there either. They kept saying that, submit or surrender. So does submit mean like submission, surrender, verbal give up, whatever, same thing? But
well, I guess because like what, and he said we surrender to give up. He goes, we surrender. Like, what the fuck? Why didn't they just say we quit?
Ty Dillinger, Perfect 10 comes in next, and he's got his chair with him, and Sammy doesn't get his hands up and eats this steel chair straight to the face. Like, it was brutal. And this is after Sammy already hit that huge springboard cutter to bust open Harwood as well. So, like, it was just chaos at this point. So then
I'm gonna kick him in the pussy.
Ortiz gets in, right? And he goes ahead. You see him go ahead to go nuts with a chair at this time. And now you see Sean Spears and Sammy, they get on top of the ropes, and Ortiz throws the chair at Sean, hits him with it, and then Sammy flies backwards and hits a Spanish fly onto friggin' Spears. It was nuts. So not only did he get pelted with a friggin' chair, but then he had to eat the Spanish fly as well.
Sammy's a psycho. I love it.
So then now Sammy's busted open from the chair shot. You know, he's bleeding. And then Cash Wheeler, he finally comes in and he gets a crazy lariat on Ortiz that looked really, really painful. Spears gets a few big kicks in while Sammy's on the ground still and throws Sammy into the cage. And they just start throwing Sammy left and right into the cage over and over and over again. Spears tosses him in. And now Spears has got him in the sharpshooter. And that's when Cash gives Ortiz a huge gory special into the cage, and like it just keeps going from there. Now Santana comes in. He saves Sammy from the sharpshooter and hits a huge Uranagi on Wheeler, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And this is eventually, I believe, when I'm trying to think, Wardlow came in, right? Because this is when they had another commercial. I think Wardlow came in like right as the commercial was breaking.
Oh, I don't remember any. I didn't write down any of the breaks either. I just remember thinking that I'm pretty sure we saw 4 commercial breaks during this match.
Yeah, well, because I remember we saw Sammy land in between like the ring and the cage, and he was stuck down there, and they were like kicking him, and then they went to commercial, the picture-in-picture, and then I remember seeing Wardlow come in after that. So Wardlow starts, tossing everybody around. Jake Hager comes in, and he looks like $1 million. He takes out, FTR in seconds. Then he goes ahead and he hits the ankle lock on Spears. He's tapping out, like I said before, but obviously not all men are in, so they can't end the match. And now, finally, we get Wardlow and Hager trading huge, big shots. I wish we got more from these two because they were throwing knees and elbows and like really MMA style attacking each other, but they could have done so much more, and I felt like they really kind of were dissatisfactory for the feud that they've built between these two with how they delivered in the ring with them. I expected a lot more from those two attacking each other, but from there, all 10 men, really get their chance because now MJF's in there, and everybody's bleeding. And Jericho finally enters. He pulls the bat out of his jacket. No one notices for like a good 20 seconds. Then commentary is like, look, he's got wood. Finally, they realize that Jericho's just cracking down on everybody. And he starts hitting Spears and Harwood. And, they're just going off nuts. And FTR starts to rip up the ring. And they try and pile drive Santana and Ortiz on it, but they're able to get out of it. And Sammy gets that huge assist, and they all hit these big friggin' spike pile drivers right onto the exposed wood of the ring. Like, this is crazy. Jericho gets a huge code breaker on Wardlow. And I'm like, damn, he sold that great. Sammy then gets a bunch of different kicks on Spears, and then they set up Sammy. He's going to go coast to coast. But and he ends up.
He almost Shane McMahoned himself. Thank God he didn't.
Pretty much, but didn't at the end. And that's when Jericho starts to beat MJF with the turnbuckle.
I'm sorry, I just got sent the New York Rangers Capitals game tonight. The puck drop started with 3 fights at the same time.
Apparently there were 6 fights. So
yeah, baby, I'm ready to go. Let's go. I'm sorry, I know it's AEW night, but look the fucking puck drop.
All the threats that were happening.
Let's boom! Oh, the fucking.
I heard about it.
And the puck drops, and we've got 3 different scraps going on at the same time as Mason's face is being rearranged. I'm sorry. I'm such a hockey fan. I mean, it's got to be good when a Bruins fan is looking for the fucking game. You know what I mean?
Hey, like I said, all the threats, even I heard about it. So
Let's
now
go.
we get another like big spear, and then it's like another picture-in-picture commercial because Wardlow and Hager, they like it was them like trying to spear
old time
each other, but they kind of botched it and they started it over, and it looked weird, but. So that was really weird. They got it in the end, but
let me ask you this real quick. This just popped into my head about the crash pad. What was worse, Jericho off the cage tonight or The Miz at WrestleMania 2 years ago? What were you more like? Oh,
I was more like with this tonight.
Okay, thought so.
Yeah, honestly. So MJF ends up climbing and trying to get away, and he ends up getting to the outside because Tully apparently stole the key from Bryce Remsburg, and you're like,
like, why didn't, dude? I heard that.
So why even have the top on the cage?
Oh my God.
So Jericho's got the walls of Jericho up top, and
I didn't,
MJF,
dude. I
he's
heard
gonna
that.
tap out, but then he punches Jericho in the square in the balls. Low blow.
I just ignored that. I heard it, but I just ignored it. I was like, the
whole
whatever.
key thing that Tully's stealing, it was such a disappointment. Like I said, once Jericho got in the match, that's really when it started to fall apart for me. Because that's when you had, the spear get messed up, and they brought out the fork, and Abdullah the butchered a few people, and I'm like, all right, cool, but that was the main focus. So now, as soon as they're up top, that's it. We have no idea what's going on with the rest of the 8 participants in the match. MJF's got the salt of the earth armbar locked in, and Jericho's not going to quit. MJF drags him up to the corner. He bites his arm, does the submission again. He's still not quitting. Finally, he grabs and just beats Jericho with the ring that he's got. He ends up pulling it out of his trunks, and he's yelling at Jericho to quit, and he refuses.
Jake. Jake.
Shit bomb!
Let's go to a dono.
You become
I think something happened.
a shit bomb.
I laughed my ass off when Nakazawa was carrying his belts after El Omega left him mid-match. Smiley face. Joe, keep up the good work.
Oh,
this
shit.
This is a great podcast. BTW 8/10 tonight for me.
Derek Bosek dropped $50. Holy shit.
Shit. Derek Bosak. Thank you.
Derek, man, holy crap, bro. The $50 super chat party. I mean, that's a big one, brother. I thought I changed the $50 to the you donated $50 then. I don't know. I guess not. Derek, man, holy hell, man. Thank you. What did he say, though, before that? I laughed my ass off when Nakazawa was carrying his belts. He did look kind of funny with the belts. Like, I mean, that was kind of funny, man. And I didn't see... was he wearing the Impact belt? Because I saw that he had the AAA belt in his hands. And then he had... What else did he... I'm trying to remember what it looked like. Actually, I have a picture of it. Let me find this picture I have of it. I know I have a picture of it. And Jake's probably restarting or something since he's frozen. I don't know what happened. It's probably his internet shit itself. Let me see if I got a picture. I swear to God I do. Of Nakazawa. Maybe I don't. I thought I did. Oh, maybe I tweeted out a picture. Did I tweet out a picture? That's what it was. I tweeted out a picture of it. Let me go grab that. That. Yeah, it's a tweeted out picture. Hey, what's up? I think I heard Jake. Thanks for the $50, Derek, man. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I can hear you now. He's got the belt over the right shoulder, the left shoulder, and I'm assuming he's wearing the other one, or those are the only two. Wait, right? No, he's got 3. How many belts does Omega have now? 4?
He's got the AAA championship.
Right.
He's got the Impact and TNA title because they're 2 different titles.
Okay, so that's the one.
And then he's got the AEW title. So that's really 1 belt, but it's 2 belts essentially that he's carrying because they didn't combine them.
So he's got 3 belts. He's got 3 belts really, but he's got 4 physical belts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because Impact didn't unite their titles.
Now Kenny Omega, this promo started fire, and it ended fire, but like somewhere around the middle, Kenny almost like he got lost for a second. It was kind of weird. But then it was only for a few seconds, but it was just like he almost lost it. Then
and then it got back into it.
Yeah, I forget exactly. We'd have to listen to it to break it down, but but it was good though. It was pretty good. It was a nice.
Well, like I said, first he's like, he's going on and on about how he has all the titles, and I don't have time for this, and I don't care about the blood and guts match. Just make the announcement, and then he gets into it, and he's kind of talking up Pac about how Pac was able to beat him once, and Pac, made him tap before, so there's a lot of interest there. But really, Orange Cassidy has no chance. You know, he sees people with their hands in their pockets trying to emulate them, and they dress like him for Halloween, but they'll never be him, you know. And finally he comes out, and now it starts to get better. You know, he steals his glasses, and all that crap happened that we covered. So it got better, but when until Orange Cassidy showed up, it was kind of going downhill.
Right. Yeah.
And then where we left off for the main event, so Jericho's at the top. He's not going to quit. He gets hit with the diamond ring there that MJF has, and he's still not quitting. So he picks up Jericho and goes to throw him off the top, and he's yelling that if you don't quit and you don't surrender, I'm going to go ahead and I'll kill him. I'll do it anyways, I swear. The Seth Rollins line. I'll do it anyways, John.
Yeah,
I'll do it anyway. Sammy Guevara quits to protect Jericho, and he throws him off anyways. Predictable. He should have just thrown him anyways. I don't know. It looked ridiculous. He should have just thrown him to begin with. So,
yeah, you're probably
right. Brutal.
But I mean, the idea is to get him this heel heat. You know, like he surrendered.
I guess,
and
but
he
they
still
could have done
threw
it
him
in
off.
a better way. I just felt like maybe just because it was so.
No, it's just the goofy landing on a crash
that's
pad.
Really, that's the crash pad, and that's what killed it. So you're right.
That's all it was. It was
because if it looked better, it would have been better. Because MJF looked like a psycho at something that was so silly because of how Jericho had to take it.
You know what would have been better is if Jericho had gone through two tables that were set up on a ramp, and it still wasn't that far of a throw. If you look at it, it was only a 6-foot drop or 8-foot drop. And so what would have been better is if Jericho had been thrown off the top and he'd gone through two tables and he was bleeding. So he's laying down, he cuts himself, and he's bleeding everywhere now, badly. And then what happens is somebody like Wardlow or somebody picks up Jericho on his shoulders, who's bleeding and dying and whatever, and he puts him up on the cage, and now MJF is going to throw him off the cage again. But instead MJF goes, oh no, I'm going to throw him off the other side. The far side, the crazy side, and that's when they give up.
Yeah, or if he throws off Sammy first.
Or he throws off
Sammy goes up to save Jericho. Sammy gets thrown off the stage into this gnarly landing, and then Jericho goes to get thrown off, and that's when Hager says, but we already saw what happened to Sammy, so now we don't want that to happen to Jericho.
But see, then I feel like then they sort of like lose heat by not hurting Jericho. So it's like
No, they could still throw him through the other side, but they could have set it up better. You know what I mean? And if you're going to do the crash pad on that side, you showcase it a little different. But had Sammy be the total like destruction of his body, you know, the gnarliest of landings, like that would have sold everybody. So you didn't even need to see Jericho get hurt because of the thought of Sammy and what happened to him. You didn't want to see that happen to Jericho.
You know what's even crazier too is if you had set up a crash pad on the other side of the guardrail. So like on the other side of the guardrail, there's this big black crash pad. So my point in what I'm saying here is you see Jericho go off the cage or Sammy go off the cage. Sammy goes off the cage through a set of tables on the shorter side, and he comes up bleeding everywhere. He got cut somehow, but he went through tables. They push him back up onto the cage. Then Jericho gives up because he doesn't want to see Sammy Guevara die. But then MJF, says, guess what? He's going to die anyway. And he throws him off the other side. But the other side, we get a camera angle from a wide shot on the other side, on the ramp side. So you see Sammy go off the cage, go flying downward, and then go behind the guardrail. So we never take a shot of Sammy, going onto the crash pad because that would look stupid. Instead, there's a shot of what looks like him flying over the cage and then falling straight down to the ground. But you don't see him hit the ground because the guardrail is 3 feet high blocking whatever he landed on. So that would look horrific. And if JR is selling it like, my God, where is he? Is he okay? Oh my God, what the hell? Like we don't, and MJF's smiling, crazy, bleeding everywhere. And, everyone's rushing over to get behind the guardrail to find Sammy. And then, by the time we cut to seeing Sammy, he's already, it doesn't matter because you miss it. It actually looks good because you don't see him land on a pad. You see him go flying off the cage, come down, and then, oh my God, did you just splat on the ground? You don't know what happened.
Exactly.
So it actually would look really good. Like, I swear to God, you would look really good. So it may actually even look better, and it would look better than Jericho falling into the crash pad thing. But then before that, you would have done better because Sammy Guevara would have gone through tables on the ramp. So
exactly. So there would have been a big chaotic moment to build to the conclusion. Shotzi Blackheart, when the barbed wire match ended so poorly, she sent out a tweet of Gilbert with the sparklers. Now tonight she sent out a tweet of the girl just like falling onto a bed filled with pillows. So she's a good sport for teasing AEW, but at least they're watching.
By the way, a better way to do it too, if you want to go through kind of like a crash patty sort of thing, what they should have done was they should have gotten really thin plywood, and they should have set up the plywood like it's the ramp, which is fine. And then you paint it, you put the grills over it like they did. But then you really hollow it out. And then after you hollow it out, you have the crash pad way lower. So you have like a couple of feet below where the crash pad is. So that when the wood breaks, the wood will not only break, but it will open. So you're going through something. And that's a big deal, is making it look like you go through. What it felt like tonight was that they tried to sell it as if he landed on the plastic ramp or the metal ramp. So they tried to make it seem like he landed on the metal or plastic ramp, which we know would hurt if you landed on. But instead it broke, like crunched, but he went nowhere. So if it had somehow been able to break through a box and go through it and land on a crash pad, that would look better because it would look explosive. So even that, you would have been like, oh, it's a crash pad. But it would have looked better than that. So there were like these several things I believe they could have done to make this look less silly. But
yeah,
still,
you could make crash pads look good. Even when Shane hit on the crash pad coming up to Hell in a Cell, it still looked good.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm being a little bit nitpicky about it. I just know.
But it looked
you
so
can't get around it.
It looked like you landed on a bounce house.
You can't get around it. The whole chat lit up laughing. I'm sorry. I'm just saying basically.
Not in a match where you're cutting each over with chair shots and forks and landing on unexposed ring mats. You know what I mean? The wood on the ring because the mats are ripped up. All that stuff. You get my point. It's like you can't have an ending that flat.
Exactly, and they should have known this. I think they should have done better. I think they should have known better. But still, 80% of the match was a lot of fun, and the night was fun. It's just there were some things that weren't the best, and then that ending was a deflator for a lot of people. And I'm not saying, I'm just telling you honestly, a lot of AEW fans felt like the wind got knocked out of them with that ending.
And they had a long time to prepare for this one. It was canceled last year.
Duncachino! You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend.
Say hello to my chocolate blend.
One of the other members should have been thrown off instead of Jericho. Maybe Sammy, since the guy takes spots that would normally kill you anyway, lol.
Yeah, I mean, it really is the obvious thing that Sammy should have gone off it. And that's what a lot of people really thought. And I think so too. And maybe that would have been obvious, and I think Jericho was I think Jericho had the right idea that dude, people are going to freak if I go off something. Imagine if I go off. They won't believe that I'm going to take that bump. And maybe that's what he thought. And that's kind of what I thought too. Jericho's not going to take that kind of bump. And then it was maybe that's why they'll do it. Shit bomb! But unfortunately, it didn't look the best. But it was safe. Shit bomb. It was safe for Jericho, which is good. But
Connoisseur.
Ah! 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 Royal Thomas, thank you for the...
Connoisseur.
Thank you for the $4.99, Royal Thomas, you fucking cocksucker. And thanks to everybody following me on Twitter at JCS Commentary. Thanks for that. Thanks to everybody hitting the like button down below. Hope you hit that like button. Let's get up to 69 likes if we can, because
I was really hoping that this would have been a bigger night for them, or a bigger feeling night. I'm hoping they still hit at least a 1.2 for the ratings. But.
Thank you for the donation.
I'm gonna
because you donated,
1.2.
I'm going to feast myself.
Maybe a 1
in the bunghole.
1 million.
Capitals Rangers started with a face-off 5-on-5 fight.
I like it, baby. D. Welsh, thank you for the $20, D. Welsh. I remember when the Bruins fought the Stars. years ago, within 2 minutes of the opening first period, they had 3 fights. Like, so there was a fight, then they dropped the puck, then there was a fight, then they dropped the puck, then there was a fight. The Rangers and Caps just said, well, let's just do all those at the same time right now. D. Welsh, thanks to the $20. I'll tell you what, someone sucker punches people on my team too. You know, I'm gonna hope there's a brawl. Like you're not gonna do anything NHL? All right, we're gonna do something. We're gonna fucking do something the next game.
You become.
Thank you, D. Welsh.
A shitball.
By the way, D. Welsh is tied now.
There was 6 fights tonight. Capitals versus Rangers.
Oh, everyone's telling me now. Yo, you're making me hate you. What's going on? Thank you for the donation, brother. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the highlights afterwards, man. I love hockey. I watch a lot of different hockey games when I can. And back in the day,
the top dog who was whoever sent the 50 before.
Who is it? Oh yeah, that's right. We got to get rid of the 20. Who's the 50? You're right. That was Derek
right when
Bosick.
the computer froze. So.
It was Derek Bosick. Derek, thank you, man.
That's right. I got you, Derek.
Fucking $50.
So tomorrow night for Out of Nowhere, we'll talk about Daniel Bryan. Is his contract really done with WWE? Is WWE truly pushing hard to re-sign him? What are they offering him? What are they promising? Will we see Daniel Bryan in AEW or elsewhere?
It killed me today, Jake, because I'll tell you what, if I hadn't had to go back to a regular job, I would have been covering that all day today. I would have been live with all the Daniel Bryan stuff today. I was killing me. I was sitting at work like, fuck, I'd normally be the only person talking about this today live, and I couldn't. I mean,
no doubt about it. AEW's Daily Place just had a huge sellout Machine Gun Kelly concert that sold out that venue a few weeks back. So them being able to go ahead and do a full selling for the Double or Nothing doesn't seem like a big deal. They'll be able to get 5,500 fans. They're hoping they might be able to actually pack in a little bit more, but I'm curious if we get numbers for tonight. Meltzer said there was 156 tickets left earlier, but I don't know if we have a number for how many they sold exactly. But we'll also talk about details about Chelsea Green and what she's doing going forward.
Porno. Let's hope for porno, baby.
It might be a possibility, or some OnlyFans. We'll see. But
sucks in the ring, so fucking might as well take it off.
Yeah, we'll also talk about Eva Marie and plans for her. We'll talk about the stuff that's going on with Triller and the interest there for fights. The Performance Center stalker got out on bond. This is the guy that rubbed feces all over the windows that we've been covering for years now at the Performance Center. Well, he got arrested during a Raw taping. Remember, not that long ago? Well, he's out on bond, and what's he doing? Oh, look at that. Going right back to the Performance Center. So doesn't surprise anybody. Joey Janela's got some heat against him right now. The King of Sleaze has been calling out Joey Janela. So it's kind of funny, but Joey Ryan pot called all the kettle black there, but he's been calling out Joey Ryan for basically saying that Joey Ryan was holding his position in AEW over his ex during their breakup, and just trying to make Joey Ryan look about as bad as possible. So we'll talk more details about that tomorrow and back down Janelle and what happens.
You really can't make him look that much worse. At this point, all you're doing is showing how your life sucks and you're taking it
trying to bring other people down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the guy, but going after people who are already down. I mean,
yep, no argument there. And of course, next week we have Pac Orange Cassidy for the #1 contender match. The winner will face Kenny Omega at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view May 30th. For the AEW World title. Ooh. And then we have the Young Bucks versus SCU. So that will likely be where SCU breaks up. John Moxley is taking on Yuji Nagata for the IWGP United States title in the United States. Crazy. TNT title, Darby Allin is going against Miro. If he doesn't show up to defend the title, he loses it. Jade Cargill will be interviewed and in action. Cody Rhodes has an announcement for Double or Nothing. And it should be a pretty interesting night. So sounds like a stacked night next week for Dynamite.
Going to be lots to talk about tomorrow night, guys. I hope you guys are all here with us tomorrow night. We'll be starting earlier than we ever do usually, so remember that. We have been starting earlier for Out of Nowhere. 10 o'clock to 10:30 we're going to start. That's what we've been doing because of my new schedule. So make sure you guys are here early. We shouldn't be starting at 11 anymore, so earlier. A lot of people have been popping in around 11:15, not realizing. So tomorrow night, Out of Nowhere, little bit earlier. And then, of course, this Friday night, I will be live with the SmackDown review. I'm back, baby, for the SmackDown review. And then we'll be recording Corrupted Podcast for Patreon. And then monetize this new night, Saturday night. Monetize this because I don't have to work Sunday. And Daddy Joey's going to drinky. All right, so it's going to be fun. I know I said that last week, but what happened was I was run down at work. I didn't end up getting to sleep when I got home to take a nap because I still have to take a nap because I have to get up. I'm like an old person, you know. I had to get up at 7, and then so I don't have the steam to do monetize this. So I don't know how that's going to work, but the bottom line is I need to get a nap. So I get home from work, and then I take a sleepy, and then I get ready for monetize this, and then I don't have to work Sunday, so we're good to go. So hopefully that's what happens. Monetize this. I asked you guys what you thought about monetize this being changed, if that's okay, what time. Now, monetize this originally for 3 years or 2 years or so was on a Wednesday night, and then we switched to Fridays for years and years, and now it looks like it's going to be a Saturday night show, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how doing SmackDown review, back to that, bigger show. Hopefully that does well. Hope you guys all watch me Friday night live here at 10 p.m. after SmackDown. And you guys voted. 52% of you said do it Saturday. And some of you guys said do monetize this Friday and then Saturday also. Do a part 1 and 2. That was an interesting take, but it was second place. So it looks like, though, 70-something% of you are going to get what you want as we go to Saturday, though, at least. And you'll get me Friday night, and then you'll get Corrupted Podcast Friday night live on Patreon. So make sure you guys are on Patreon for the live Corrupted show. And it all starts this week and starts tomorrow night without a nowhere, earlier than usual. So I'm excited. Jake, say goodnight and tell everybody where they can find you on Twitter.
You can find me at Countdown Ended, and go ahead and message me and give me a follow there. I'm trying to return as many messages as possible, but thank you for all the love and support, and we'll see you crazy bastards tomorrow for Out of Nowhere.
Listen, thanks to Soundwave, and thanks to all you guys who donated tonight, obviously, for keeping me on the air and keeping us here. If you really want to also, another way to help is to become a patron. Bonus content over there, where obviously it's the beginning of the month, so some people aren't back. They don't realize they got kicked off. So if you can get back on there, get back on there. We're back to 266 patrons. Goal is to get back to at least 300. To somewhat survive, we need to get back to 300. So let's do that, and then try to work on getting back to 350 if we can ever do that. But just going to bring the content, more podcasts, more stuff coming to Patreon. So thanks to everybody who supported over there. And shout out to Soundwave, but shout out to Derek Bosick. $50. He's going to be the top dog. Jake. And also we have a new hate system. Did you see the new hate meter the other night, Jake?
I did for Raw, the hate meter.
Hate points.
Build up those hate points and watch it fly.
Monday Night Raw got, I think, 112 hate points.
There was a lot of hate for Raw, no doubt about it.
We'll see if it can do worse next week on Monday Night Raw. But, hey, man, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here, guys. Blood and Guts, what did you give it? Leave a comment on this video later on if you can with your rating and why. If I can do enough with those comments, I may make a video about your comments. So if you can drop some comments on this video, let
us know what you all thought.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a 6.5 as well. I think that seems fair.
I will go to a 7 because I want to give it a 6.8. I'm being lovey-dovey with it. I'm giving it a 7. I'm being a little lovey. You know?
That was my original, but that ending still, I just rewatched it in a GIF form.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Sour.
Yeah.
They could have done better, but they're certainly better than WWE.
Absolutely.
And
Raw was abysmal.
And honestly, NXT might have won the whole week almost based on what, I don't know, though. I didn't see it. I have to watch it.
Swerve
People say
and Scott
it's good.
damn near killed themselves, and the women's tag champ match was great, so.
All right. Well, hey. Good night, everybody. Hope you leave some love on Patreon. Shout out to all the patrons.
Shit bomb!
Corey Jones, what's up?
You become a shit bomb.
Just let you know this is Michael Sachs Jr. Change it.
Oh, yeah. What up, Michael? Change it. Oh, you changed your name. I get what you're saying. Rastafa and Michael Sachs Jr. and everybody else, please call Out of Nowhere tomorrow. I didn't get you on tonight, man, but we got to get out of here. I will get you on tomorrow night. If you guys want to be heard, Get in the Discord tomorrow night. Me and Jake will take a few calls, and we'll get you on the show tomorrow. I promise we will get you guys on the show tomorrow. So please jump on tomorrow night, especially Rastafa, man. I got to get you on, brother. Love you guys. Thanks to Derek, who is the top dog. Thanks to Derek, man. Good night.
What the fuck I've done? I fell off the cage. Then I went through a crash box and looked really fucking lame.
I still love Jericho. I love you, Jericho. It's great stuff tonight. It's okay. You'll do better. It's good stuff. A lot of blood. I love that. Got blood. If it was WWE, it wouldn't have been any blood. So, good stuff. Give me a job, Tony Khan. Give me a job, Tony Khan. Give me a job, Tony Khan.
You know, you're a librarian. You know, you don't even have glasses. Shut up! I'm a master of the Dewey Decimal System. But the librarian always leaves a bookmark. You want a literate legend? Then look no further than the literate legend. Me, the librarian. Triple H, the fact of the matter is I've been asking for a long time, pal. I've been asking for a long time for you to give me what I want. I left before because I didn't get what I wanted from you. I got it from Hollywood. Do you know how many of those Hollywood stars, how many of those Hollywood directors, including the Galaxy of Guardians and every other director in Hollywood, do you know how much they're willing to suck fucking fondle? I got way more attention than I ever got from you. Now Triple H, Paul, I want you to do something for me. I want you to give me what I want. I know you want it. I know you want it. You want me to give it to you, huh? Give me what I want. And Dave, I will give it to you. I will give you the beating of a lifetime, the beating of your life. No, that's not what I want. No, Paul, that's not what I want. I remember when we used to trade DMs and pictures back in the locker room. If you want everything, I can give it to you at WrestleMania. Yes! I will do it for you. Yes, that's what I want. That's what I want, Paul. I want you and me at WrestleMania. Be careful what you wish for, Dave. You can hide behind all that security. You can hide behind those wannabe security guards, those indie stars, and Triple H will run down all of them. Dave, I will run down all of them, and I will give you everything, Dave. I will come all over you. Oh, yeah. If that's what you want, that's what you'll get. Oh, yeah. Oh, Triple H, give it to me. Give it to Big Dave. I'm going to give it to you, Dave. Give it to me. Give it to me. You want it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I will do it. It's going to be Paul Levesque and Dave Bautista
in a cum bath. I'm gonna give you everything, Dave. I'm gonna give it to you. Give it to me. Oh, give me it. Give me it all. Give me it all. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. 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 Oh, yeah. Oh, give it to me. Give it to me. It'll be just like old times where we used to do cocaine in the bathroom. I put some down my pants before the show tonight. Yeah. 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 Give it to me. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to like it. And everybody here in Pittsburgh knows that you're going to suck it. I smelled you come and I walked from miles. I will suck you off at WrestleMania. Paul at WrestleMania. Batista. Bomb in your ass.
What the fuck?
A lot of people have tried to burn Joe Cronin. A lot of people have tried to stop monetize this. But no matter what they did, they didn't put out the fire. You know, it's on a night like this that I realize why so many big dogs have left the show. Big reason for that is the fact that the biggest dog ran them off. Unwillingly, I might add. I would have rather had them all here tonight. But over the years, alpha dogs, they go slave. Alpha dogs realize that they've been dominated. And when they realize that, they tuck their tail between their legs and they run away. And that's why tonight, on Monetize This, after the last year, you think a guy like Drew would ever last this long on this show? You think other people like this that we've had on, Nerdy, Jesse, etc., would last on this show? No way. They've existed because I've allowed them to exist. But tonight, I go back to what I was years ago. Tonight, I reclaim my spot. Tonight on Monetize This 300 as the alpha dog. Woof! Motherfucker. As I stare into this fire, I'm reminded of the past flames, of the heat, and of the inferno that Monetize This started as. And as the wood is slowly burnt to a crisp, one beautiful piece of wood at a time, burned through, charcoaled, dried out, and rotted away. I'm coming to the realization that every other so-called alpha that's ever been on the show was that wood. They were that wood. They couldn't stand the test of the fire, and when they were put to the fire, they burned. For a long time, I wondered why I didn't burn in the fire. Why I didn't flame up and perish. And that's when I realized I'm not a piece of kindling. I'm not a branch. I'm not a piece of wood.
Duncachino? Don't mind if I do. What's my name?
Duncachino.
It's a whole new game.
Duncachino.
You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
AU was a 2 out of 10 tonight. Only AU marks liked the show.
I am the fire. I am the alpha dog. And tonight I'll monetize this 300. I will become what I created, the monetize this champion, for the 5th time. And nobody can stop me.
Suicide myself. So